Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, come on. How to put this in the middle?
Line is because of something called skill-based matchmaking. Now, it's not the fault of other players that they're like super good, and that once you become super good at a video game, you can't play it casually anymore. That's not the fault of the other players. Take Call of Duty Modern Warfare, for instance. I don't really play the game anymore, and the main reason behind it is that even when you're playing in the casual playlist, if you become really good at a video game like that, you basically just get matched up with legitimate semi-professional players to the point where like you have to play your complete hardest in every single match. From what I've been able to tell in Fall Guys, there is nothing like that. And even then, in those lobbies, it's not the fault of the other people that they're so good at the game, it's the fault of the developer for constantly matching you up into games where you just have to like basically try to not have fun to win. And it
The way you said that, try to not have fun to win. Try to not have fun to win? What the heck? Why? What? What? Who says that? Who says that? Okay, now I'm in this high tier now. I'm gonna not have fun in the game because I'm not already making the game harder for me than it is. That makes no sense. That's like when you're playing a fighting game and they match you up with someone that of like super high tier and they're whooping you, bro, and you're just like, what the heck? I can't do nothing, bro. But I'm gonna learn something from the other player. At least, see, this is the mentality that other people have too. They literally say, I gotta not have fun to basically have fun at a game. What? Who says that? Who literally says, oh, dude, you go to your friend and you be like, hey, dude, yeah, you're having a hard time at this game? Yeah, try not to have fun in the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, demotivate the guy. Yeah, just demotivate him. Put him down at a level where he feels like all his effort was nothing, basically. Who does that? Who says that? Nobody says that. I'm not gonna demotivate somebody just because they're not having fun at a game. You gotta try to hype. You need to have people to hype someone up. You know what I mean? You just gotta try to understand how it is in the game. If you've also played the game, if you've not played the game, you just sit back and watch. You know what I mean? Watch and observe, and then from that information, learn the game. Try to learn the game, the ins and outs of the game. Study the game. That's why there's strategy people that just know information about the game. They don't really play it, but they know the information in the game and can tell you. That's why there's things like Game Informers magazines and other stuff like that. It's really, really easy for you to just find the information. Just you could probably find information from other people that or go on IGN and find the information there. That's what I'm saying. Go to the real sources that matter. Don't go to these people that are just going to tell you whatever their mindset is, because you're only going to get to the road that they're going. I mean, if you want to go that route, that's fine, but that doesn't matter. Saying that this game is super hard for you doesn't make any sense neither, because there should be no. Basically, you shouldn't even worry about having to say that a game is hard for any player, because it doesn't matter if it's easy or hard for you. You should just be worried about the concepts in the game and trying to understand why the concepts are doing what they're doing. These people trying to put this into a tier and or category to try and say that something is either easy or hard. Like, why? It doesn't matter if it's difficult. There's some people that don't even care what difficulty they're playing on. They literally just try to win, And that doesn't mean you have to be a tryhard. Maybe they just like playing the game because it's fun. But I'm also been seeing people that are just asshats. They literally will try to do shit to you to hold you back so you can't win the game. And I think that's what he means more than not trying to be a tryhard that way. Because literally, if you look at this game, you could literally do that. You could literally grab people's attention from that shit And more people will start doing that shit. I'm telling you. Like, think about it. If you don't even really care about winning the game yourself, what are you going to do? Prevent other players from playing the game, which is then not going to make the game fun. It's going to make the game even harder. Because if more people start trying to prevent you from winning the game, then what happens? You see what I'm saying? There probably is a strategy behind this shit. You see what I'm saying? There's a strategy behind it. People can prevent you from winning the game. There could be a bunch of players just running towards you to try and prevent you from winning the game. And that's probably where I think the try-hard shit is at. Not in the fact that you can just play the game normally and try to win. And try to get to the qualified screen. This doesn't matter. I think he means why people are being a try-hard and why people don't want to stop playing games is because these people want to try to, like, do extra. They want to figure the loophole around. How can I, do something in the game? They figure out what you can do in the game, and then once they figure that out, they try to abuse it, which then makes the game not fun no more. Because I've seen it a lot. I've seen it a few times. It depends. But not a lot of people are doing that. They're trying to win the game. So it's very unlikely. But if somebody starts to do that and starts to bring it like to an attention like I am, maybe more people will start doing it, which is a bad thing too.
If you don't want to play a game where you have to risk somebody going their absolute hardest at all times, then just go play single-player games. Like, it's very simple. It isn't like there's only 4 games on planet Earth. Like, if you don't like the fact that people are playing...
Okay, then think about it this way. Well, what if your single-player game is attacking you and trying to stop you from doing whatever you're doing at all times? Which most single-player games try to do, which is why you also have a death screen. Which is why people are trying to go... like he said, trying to be a try-hard to try and win at a game. I get that AI is supposed to do that, but I'm saying when actual players are playing the game and they're actually doing that shit is just mad-ass stupid. Trying to say that this game is literally not that hard. It can actually be hard if you literally think of it in the terms of that. And that's literally the only way you can actually do it. There are no other ways. It's not like... well, in some games you can. You could just make it so that nobody scores points. But then again, there's also unfair luck in this too. Because one team, for instance, if you're playing the soccer mini game or whatever, one team on the other hand gets more players than you. Like, huh? What? So there'll be like 7 players, but you'll have 6, and you'll just be on this. You don't even know which team you're gonna be on. You don't even know if you're gonna be on the blue or yellow. So then you're out of luck, and then you're just losing. There's people in certain games that will prevent you from doing the thing that you're supposed to do to win the game, and I'm like, what? That's you what? And that's probably where I'm thinking he's coming from. Not saying that everybody's a tryhard. Because everyone could try their best to win a game.
to win in competitive games or in PvP games, then just go play something else. Like, this is the mindset that brought upon skill-based matchmaking, right? That, like, bro, I'm so tired of all these people who are better than me constantly winning the game. Because, like, a few years ago, when skill-based matchmaking either didn't exist or was toned down to a point where you could just casually play the game at pretty much any skill level, except maybe, like, the very high tiers, gaming was a lot different than it is now, because somebody who was actually good at the game might get matched up with this guy and completely shit on him. But then, of course, this is the mentality that is kind of spilled out now, right? Where it's like, it's the game's fault that I don't play well. It's the game's fault that it matched me up with this person. I mean, if skill-based matchmaking is a thing, then yeah, it is the game's fault that that happened, and it might be the reason why you can't enjoy the game.
Bro, you literally think about it this way. There is still competitiveness in the game you're playing. Because if you're playing a single player game, the competitiveness is against the AI. And if the AI is so hard, you can't do anything, what's the point? You see what I'm saying? That's probably why some people don't play single player games neither. Because what if the AI was so hard? What if there was like what if they just the developer made the game and the AI was super hard and it made it so hard you couldn't just play the game. You kept dying every time and you're like, why am I dying? And you don't realize why. You don't realize why. See, it's all about what you're playing. You're telling the dude to just play any single player game. Like, you gotta figure out, like, okay, there's difficulties for the game. Okay, every game has difficulties, which I get. But the thing is if the person, doesn't understand why they're dying for, then what's the point? You see, if the person doesn't understand why they're doing what they're doing and they just keep dying, there's no point in it. You could tell anybody to play anything. You could tell them to play an RPG and they'll be like, why am I dying? They don't know. They just know that they just got shot or some silly whack thing happened and they died. And then it's like, wait, what? And then they're like, wait, what? And then that's why most of these people get confused over these games when they're just playing it. Literally, there are people that do not care. So it's like, why? Like, why put yourself in the position to put it in a dumb mindset? Like, I'm not saying that person is dumb, but I'm saying that people are not aware. If you're not aware, what's the point of playing any game, period?
Really vary in difficulty all over the place. You can play casual single player games, or you can go all the way up to like Dark Souls type difficulty, right? You can do whatever you want with those.
And that's the thing. You're saying you could go up to Dark Souls level difficulty. How is Dark Souls hard? If you can abuse the enemy's AI, if you can literally abuse the enemy's AI, then you have the advantage to win the game, period. You have the advantage to win. Because if you study what the developers made the enemies to do, you can literally go around it. You can literally go around it and win every time. Because you can just abuse the AI. And that's what sucks. And that's what sucks. Making it in a way where you can abuse the AI to win the game. There is no skill involved once you know how to manipulate the game and win by basically cheating. It's not cheating, it's just manipulating the AI. It's using the tools that are in the game, which is in fact playing smart. And that's the thing, there's a difference.
Right? Play GTA single player. It's pretty much as casual as you can really get, unless you're one of those guys who sweats against the AI police in single-player story mode and not having fun with your friends. I don't know, I think it's just a very stupid and ridiculous mindset that, like, all video games should cater to this person because they aren't good enough to play at the game. It's the reason why people who play video games well now have to go their hardest all the time. It's basically sacrificing the enjoyment of people who are actually dedicated to playing the game itself for the enjoyment of somebody who doesn't even fucking like the game enough to play it. I mean, you just can't make the argument that, like, you enjoy Fall Guys, but you can't play it because people are better than you. I mean, it's one of, like I said, it's one of the easiest games to get into, for real. It requires all but 2 buttons to play, pretty much, at any given time. And if it's too much for you to handle, I don't know how that was enough to make you quit playing video games, but I gotta say that might have just simply been for the better. Oh, and no, don't throw those of us who stopped playing Warzone into the I'm tired of people being better than me camp, because the reason that I stopped playing Warzone is because literally fucking everyone on PC hacks and cheats in that game. So anytime you boot that game up and even if you're like on PS4 playing crossplay, right? There's always going to be that loser who has the game hacked and cheated, who's shooting people through walls at their heads or is sniping them across the map off their parachutes. That's the reason why I stopped playing Warzone. I didn't stop playing Warzone because people were better than me at it, which of course there were. It was fun to lose in still sometimes. It's because you can't play the game without somebody fucking cheating in it. So just, I think, a really stupid video with a really stupid point. I mean, I just really wish video games would stop catering to people based on their skill level and just let people play regardless. Because skill-based matchmaking, all it does is plateau people's progress because complete idiots just constantly play other complete idiots and they don't actually learn how to play better. They don't see any better strats by better players. They don't see better players do better things than them, so they just perform worse over time than people like me, who grew up in an era of Call of Duty where six-man clans would join in and just stomp everybody to the point that they had tactical nukes dropped on your head when you were an 11-year-old child. So, yeah, I don't know, man. They make video games for literally everybody. They make games of all different difficulties and just do what anyone would do if they don't want to play a very competitive game against other players and just go play something single player. That's the message of the video.
And just go play something that's single player. Bro, I could literally debunk your whole entire message for this video by literally just showing you one YouTuber. And that YouTuber I'm gonna put in the link. But like, gee, man. Cause people would be like, I wanna play a multiplayer game. I wanna trash other people in multiplayer games. And the guy's like, and the other guy's like trashing multiplayer games because he's like, single player games are better than multiplayer games. I'm like, wait, so we're fighting over which games are better. Doesn't matter which games are better. No, the reason why people stop playing video games is, for one, people want to cheat. Two, because people want to be asshats and abuse the game, and try to stop your progress from being able to play the game properly. And then in this game where you literally press 2 buttons, it's like, really? Come on. But think about it though. What if you start using a macro? Like, literally think about that though. What if you start using a macro, and this macro somehow makes it so that you perfectly jump every single time in the game? Like, literally every single time you just jump and jump and jump. You just figure out the timing of how to jump, and it just automatically jumps. You probably could win the game. You probably could figure out that click it and then timing and then clicking. Because then all you would have to do is do nothing but just sit there and literally just aim your character. And we would probably then have a better luck at winning the game, because you don't have to click a button to do anything. All you have to do is just walk. And then you could turn it off, and then you could just literally just walk. That's what I'm saying. In a game like this, there's probably no anti-cheat. They probably didn't even think to put an anti-cheat. Because it's the most dumbest game ever, and it only uses 2 buttons. So of course they would probably be like, oh wait, no, we're not gonna put an anti-cheat in this. Because it's just like, all you're doing is just jumping and running. But think about it though. If you could manipulate the game in some way, and somehow find a bug because it's not been out for so long, you could really manipulate the game. It's only a matter of time before somebody finds a loophole in the game and literally tries to manipulate it. But if the game is made in such a way to where you can't manipulate it, then everyone's out of luck and there's no cheaters. You literally devalue the cheaters, which is a good thing, because then there's no cheaters and then everyone's on the same playing field and no one's better than anybody. You can't say no one's better than anybody.